Hello friends, it's good to have you here. I am Alsea and I cannot believe how fast this channel is growing. I just started it about a week ago, and between personal messages for readings and all the love and the comments, oh my goodness, and if you aren't a subscriber yet, I would love to have you. This is so fun. I've been reading tarot for about 20 years, but I've never done it online, and this is just a whole new adventure for me. I love tarot videos on YouTube. For a while, a few years ago, when I was going through a really hard period, they really helped me. And so I wanted to start this channel and hope that some intuitive guidance and the magic of these cards could maybe help someone else. So today I'm going to do a pick-a-card, which are just so fun. I pre-shuffled all of these, and maybe next time I'll film the pre-shuffle because it was crazy how these cards just shot out of the decks, the respective decks. So there's definitely some messages here for people. The choices that you have are three of my favorite stones that normally border my tarot table. This is a really beautiful gifted selenite. I call this my dragon's eye, actually, that a friend made. And an aquamarine, oh my goodness, that my friend got from a mine in South America, I believe. So the idea is that I am going to be reading in the perspective of what you need to hear, either about a person or a situation. Hopefully this will answer your questions about that. And in terms of which one to pick, I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory as opposed to just saying like red, blue, or green. Selenite is a stone of the angels, if you partake in that kind of, definition of the world. But this idea of speaking to a higher power, being really in touch with the divine or your own spiritual prowess. It's a card I like to keep by me for safety. I keep it by my bed while I sleep. And whenever I do anything of the intuitive, esoteric nature, I always have it nearby. The dragon's eye kind of has this really, I wish you could feel this, but it's just like a really beautiful, intense energy. My friend's a jewelry maker, made me this after some adventures in British Columbia, and it's just really infused with power. So if you associate with dragons or this dragon's eye, and if that feels right for you. And then aquamarines, it's my birthstone actually, but it's the stone of the throat chakra. Pure communication, so if you're looking for communication or that's something on your mind, or this idea of honesty and truth and authenticity, aquamarine is a beautiful stone for that. So let's jump into it, okay? Thank you for joining me here. My name is Alsea. You can reach me for personal readings at alseatarot@gmail.com. I'm doing all these introductory specials on Celtic cross readings. So yeah, here we go. So the selenite people. Let's start with the selenite people. Okay, I'm gonna do a timestamp so that you can know when the other two start. Okay, so here's that. I'll move these guys over. So this is for the people who chose the selenite. Nine of Pentacles. Oh, let's look at this deck first. How beautiful is this? My partner gave this to me years ago. Nine of Pentacles. This entire deck has kind of a dark theme to it, so I wouldn't really take that too much into account. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going through something dark, because the Nine of Pentacles, nines are the number of self-realization, self-actualization, if you will. If you were born on the 9th like I was, or you just have 9 as some type of important number to you maybe, but this is kind of the overall theme of what's going on right now with this deck, if this was your chosen deck. And the Nine of Pentacles is about, earthly fulfillment. The Pentacles suit is us in terms of how we define ourselves in the earthly realm. And this is some type of feeling fulfilled in terms of work or in terms of finances or abundance, or maybe that's been a major goal in your life, is to figure out how to feel like you're standing on your own 2 feet. It's a very independent, empowered kind of energy. So either that's something that's been at the forefront of your thinking, or the person you're thinking about comes across that way, or this is where you've been currently at, or maybe a struggle you've been having, you know, in these times, the economy, it's hard to ever feel like you're getting ahead, and I understand that for sure. But the 9 of Pentacles has somehow been a theme, so something with earthly matters and feeling like, you know, you've made something come to fruition in your life, whether that's love or money or relationships, whatnot. Wow, yeah. How fascinating. Even with different decks, tarot is incredible. The story just continues. Wow. So what I'm gathering from these is that you have been very work focused. Either work focused or figuring out how to try to make money in a different way, or some new endeavor has been a focus and you've just been working at it head down, trying to make it happen. If it's not career-wise, it's relationships and a person you're thinking about. There was an offer that was made in the past and it's been worked at, but this energy, this 8-9, it feels very much like maybe only one person's been working at it, or maybe one person's haven't been put in more work for whatever reason. But there's some kind of change, because aces are new beginnings in a huge way. They're almost like a massive surge of energy into each suit, the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water. And the pentacles is earth, earthly matters, and the ace is this beginning, some kind of beginning. It actually is a hand from the universe. So maybe you were gifted something, right? Or a gift of earthly matters, or money was a focus in the past, in some recent past, or has been an issue in your life. But it feels very much like there's some kind of new beginning or new phase you've been in terms of your money, your earthly pursuits, or in terms of love. It could be, you know, and how you define yourself in the world. And you've just been working away at it, whatever it is. It's required a lot of work. Maybe something new has now turned into something that's a lot of work. Showing the 8 and the 9 are showing themselves of pentacles. So they're, yeah. What's interesting is that what's coming in is the 7 of Cups. And this is choices, right? And it can be, all of these cards can be defined so many different ways depending on the reader and depending on the story that's unfolding around them. But this card is the card of like, what is going to fill my cup? What will bring me my happiness? Or maybe being overwhelmed with choices. It can also, in more negative sense, not being able to choose a path that's right for you, or being caught up in kind of like a dreamlike state about what's real and not being able to move forward because of that, or figure out what this one cup actually should have in it. But it moves from this earthly to this emotional kind of idea, and then this never-ending story, this feeling like, you know, there's something that keeps repeating in your life almost. I want to get out the writing on this one because it's fascinating. Oh, self-criticism, the wounded ego, and unnecessary dramas. Wow. Maybe this is for someone that needs to hear this, but fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could all be active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Maybe you're afraid of all the good that is coming your way, so you step out of your lane, totally aware of what you're doing, but seemingly powerless to stop yourself. Are you back where you started, or in a situation that reminds you of past failures, or financial insecurity scaring you? You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. Use criticism constructively right now. Better yet, stop telling the story altogether. Make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure it out. Tell a new story and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. This is fascinating. So this very much feels like maybe you started something new and it's just so much more work than you ever thought, and now you're in it and you're surrounded by these pentacles, but you're wondering, what am I doing this for? Like, is this my happiness? You know, this is very akin. I ran my own business for years. And I did it because I had so much passion for what I was doing. But at some point, I was just so miserable and exhausted all the time that it's like, what am I even doing? What was the point of this to begin with, right? And that's kind of what this feels like. So this could be huge shifts in your life of starting something new career-wise, getting really into it, and then not actually knowing what your happiness is because it's maybe not what you thought going into it. Maybe because of the way that we have defined earthly success as just working all the time, you know, to achieve it, like the dream of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and making it work. And now it just feels like you can either never get ahead. Maybe there's a lot of self-critical talk, but it just very much feels like there's some kind of what is my happiness or what is going to actually fill my cup, because I'm not sure this thing I put so much effort into it is it. And if it's a relationship, same deal. Like maybe your goal has been to be this independent, strong person, and you've been in a relationship that you've been really working at, and either you have been finding that there's like codependency, or there's something where it's just taken so much work and you don't even know if it's been worth it, right? And you might have lost like sight with who you were before or who you wanted to be. But there's this kind of feeling of not self-loathing, but just like, oh, why do I keep doing this? Or how have I gone wrong? Looking at especially this time of year, turning inward and looking at things you've done and feeling like you should have done something differently, or, you know, getting caught up in what ifs. And I just want to send this big hug to you to let you know that, like, for choosing the selenite, you know, like you're protected, and we're all on our own divine paths of self-growth. And a lot of that requires hard moments and a lot of hard introspection. But you have the ability to work through anything. You've already proved that. You know, you're still here. And you can be this Nine of Pentacles person. You have it inside you, and you're not as far from it as you think. So that's what I want to say to you. But there is going to be some type of choice about how to move forward for your greatest good, or follow your bliss, and what that actually looks like for you if you haven't really found it yet. You know, and it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's about cultivating a life filled with as many moments of joy as possible, because joy is just a fleeting emotion, right? It's not a constant state of being. The only constant is change. But it's about being radically empowered in your choices, enough to the point that you take full responsibility for what happened, and you move through life looking at it as a series of lessons. And then you can create the future of your dreams. And that's definitely how this feels. Okay, so that's the selenite one. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay. All right, thank you for joining me, and this is going to be the dragon eye reading, this beautiful dragon eye. If you picked this, you know, I love you a little for it, because there's something very magical about this piece to me. It was always way too big to wear as a necklace. I'm a smaller person, but it's so heavy and just powerful. Okay. Wow, how beautiful. Wow. Powerful indeed. This reading is for a person who is powerful for sure. But the energy I'm getting from this is somebody who really takes life by the reins. I just want to say that. The overall theme is the Page of Wands, right? Look at that, Page of Wands, from this very beautiful, like this colorful, gorgeous deck. Page of Wands, pages are kind of messages or ideas, whereas the Knights are the action that carries them out. But pages can be also, you know, younger figures and whatnot, like children or adolescents or whatnot that you're dealing with. But having this as the overall theme, maybe there's some new passionate idea, new passionate way of being that you are trying to embody, or maybe you're trying to infuse passion into your life and you're having ideas about how to do that, but none of it's really moved forward yet. But see how she's like reaching for the stars. And she has her magic wand. She's a bit tethered to the earth, maybe tethered to reality, so it's all in the ideas phase of what could be. But it's rooted in passion. Wow, oh my goodness. Just to have the star in your future, can there be a more powerful omen than that? I mean, come on. But let's start here. Sometime in your past, or maybe a theme of your past, has been holding on tightly to things. Fours in general are about stability, and the Pentacles suit is more slow-moving. It's earth energy, which can be, you know, a stubborn energy, a slow-moving energy compared to something like water or fire, right? But this is a card, when you add this kind of stability that in other suits is beneficial, it can be overly stagnant in this earth suit. So the idea of this card is this king sitting here it's funny because I've never noticed that he was a king before. And then the queen's right here, right? I am just feeling like, and the star, I am just feeling this very powerful, like if you went for the dragon's eye and this is your vibe, like there's a lot of power here. So damn. But there's something in your past about holding on so tight to something, maybe structures you've built in your life, things you've built or that have been built around you, maybe I want to say, that have kept you contained. Maybe there's something about, wow, I've never gotten that from this before. Maybe there's something about having been, you feel contained in the things that have maybe been built before you. I have never said that about this. Wow, how fantastic. Something about feeling stuck or constricted, like you have all of this to offer, but you don't really know how to manifest it in the world, or to apply it to the world. Maybe these are skills. Maybe these are like in terms of your job or in terms of your just skill set in general. Like, this is fascinating. Traditionally, this card means like holding on too tight to something like money, and it stops money flow in because you need to kind of flow with things to accrue more abundance, like spend money to make money concept, right? But this feels very much like somehow you've been contained. And hopefully that resonates with someone, because I feel that very powerfully. And what's in your present now is like this royal feeling energy. And the queens are like the manifestors, right? And they're the queens of abundance, especially the Queen of Pentacles. She's like a minor arcana empress, right? And she's looking at what she's built. And there is a little bit of a solemn thing to it, but it's more like all of this around her is just growing and so fertile. And so maybe you figured out, felt really trapped, or like you didn't know how to use all these skills, or like things that you had inside you weren't being put to use properly. I wanted to just say that. And where you're currently at is like growing, like focusing on growing, using one of those pentacles to reap some sort of abundance, or just like scrutinizing how to take one of these pentacles and use it in a way that doesn't stop. Because it's a stark landscape, very gray cement, and then just this opulent greenery, right, around her. So there's something about growing something. If this is in terms of a relationship, maybe you're afraid to date, or you were holding on too tightly to this idea of what you wanted, and now either this person that is really abundant has come into your life, or you figured out how to start manifesting what it is you want. Because what's in your future is the star. Stop it. Like, come on. This is all about divine guidance, healing, being on a path that's like angelic in nature. It's such a gorgeous card. It has a lot, Major Arcana has a lot to do with kind of like lessons that allow for growth, and it can be healing after a hard time, but there's just something very powerful about this star showing up here in your future. Like either you were going to achieve some kind of fame, honestly, that could definitely be this, is like you had all these skills and you didn't know how to use them, or you didn't know in which way to, like, where to put them in this world that is already, it's so almost limiting because of how structured it is, because our world is often too structured for creatives to really, you know, fly as they should. And now you've either figured it out, or that's going to be a huge focus in the present, is using it, this pentacle, to just cultivate and manifest. And then what's coming in is either some type of fame or fortune, or just this very divine feeling of you did it. Like there's some type of success here for sure. And I want to say all this because the To the Sea card is your oracle card, and this card is so beautiful. It's about travel and movement and change. And the sea can often represent almost like the dream world. Definitely the emotional realm is represented by water, but the sea has this almost dream-like quality. It always has for humans. You know, you look out at the sea and you think like, what's out there? And for some people it's really frightening, and for other people they have to know. And in that way, it almost represents our subconscious or the dream world. And so taking to the sea, it's just like taking off into your dreams. That's like, I can't even express to you how this feels and how tingly it feels talking about this, because this Page of Wands, reaching for the stars. Oh my goodness, the star. And it's coming. Oh, stop it. Wow. This is just for somebody that is going to figure out exactly what the world wants from them, and they are going to make it happen for themselves. And you might have felt stuck in the past, but the unique pentacle, the unique thing that you bring to the table, no one else can. I want to tell you that. It is your brand of special, and the world needs it. And what's coming is just self-actualization around that. And you just feeling like maybe other people are you're gonna leave people kind of at the shore looking at you like, where are they going? You know, but you have to do it. You have to know what's out there. Oh my goodness. Dragon's Eye people, I love it. I knew this one was gonna be special. I mean, they're all special, extremely special stones to me, but this is just so beautiful. Okay, thank you. On to the next one. Join me next time if you're tuning out now. I'd love to see you here more often, or subscribe. That'd be great. Okay, so this is my aquamarine people. There's something so sweet and precious about this stone, aquamarine in general. I love that it's about clear communication, the throat chakra, which so many of us, you know, have problems with because we're just taught to be nice or not to express ourselves in the ways that we need to, either it's our emotions or our truth. You know, we can live in such repressed societies and repressed homes, you know, and I think that it would be so much healthier if we all had, you know, we worked on our throat chakras. Oh, it's funny. Air energy, right? Speaking your truth. And the Two of Swords. Wow. A leg up. This feels more relationship-y than the other two, which felt about, you know, personal life paths. That can be, you know, relationships are a huge part of this. This feels like you're dealing with something in the emotional realm for sure. All these cups, right? Two of Swords is about a choice, usually a hard choice. Not like the Two of Wands where it's a bit more playful. It's a woman in the Rider-Waite deck who's blindfolded, and look at this where it's the dark and the light. Choice between dark and light. And they both break at the choice. Well, it's a beautiful deck. The Two of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, she's blindfolded and not facing the stormy waters behind her, and the fact that she has to make this choice to move forward. Maybe you've been in a place of needing to make some type of choice in your life that you haven't wanted to face, because choices are hard, especially when it feels like there's no right choice, right? Or no matter what happens, things will fall apart, or you'll face hard emotions. Hard times, regardless, are going to come from whatever you choose, but the choice has to be made. Or maybe it's just figuring out how to choose something new for yourself because things haven't worked out before. or haven't been. I say emotional realm because look at all these cups. We go from the Four of Cups, the Temperance, and the King of Cups. And the Temperance isn't of the cup suit, but look at I think it's Gabriel. It's supposed to be Gabriel, the angel. Balancing the waters in these cups in this emotional realm, right? And so there's something about this almost all-seeing eye that I've never noticed. So where you were at is kind of this place of, they call this card, I've heard years ago, divine discontent. And there's this offer, kind of this, you know, again, the divine cups being held. And cups represent emotions, right? But there's something about this person looking down in sadness at the cups that are theirs or have already been, and this other cup being offered. So maybe some new offer came at you that changed up the game. Maybe you were feeling really stuck until something new came in, or maybe you were just looking for like an out from a situation in the past, right? Or some new kind of beginning needed to happen. Maybe there were 3 people involved, but there's something about, if this represents you especially, this energy of, I know what there is already, or I know what I've already been through, but I'm ready for something new, but needing to be open to the new, right? And not be so stuck on the things that were maybe the empty cups from before that you were feeling. Where you've been is a place of rebalancing, right? Especially in kind of a divine sense, almost angelic in the way that the Temperance card is about, like what it says, tempering, you know, tempering the energies. It's about finding kind of this place of balance so that you can navigate the path to your happiness. And so maybe you've been doing a lot of self-work, right? Or inward, the eyes closed, kind of like this introspection on your choices or what has been. But it looks like emotionally what happened is that you went from a place of being almost maybe disillusioned is the word, or just like not happy with what has been before. Maybe in your dating life, what you had gone through has been really hard, and just waiting for kind of something. This is a very waiting card, it feels like right now at least, waiting for something new to come in. And maybe you had to turn inward because of these hard feelings, but what's coming is like, if this is you, I'll start with that. The King of Cups is the king of the entire emotional suit, and the masculine aspect of this very feminine suit, which is this figure that can represent a person. So if it's you, it's mastering your emotions as much as emotions can be mastered, as much as you can master a river, right? But this idea of finding balance within your emotions and being almost not affected maybe the way you used to be. So maybe you've been in this place of trying to really get in touch with your emotions and how you feel. If this is another person, masculine or feminine, but definitely represents these masculine qualities, maybe it's what's coming into your life in the future because of this work you've done, is a very deep feeling, kind person who's very rooted in love, very stable in their emotions, because you see this kind of rocky waters, but they're solid and kingly despite that. So it could be a person that plays it cool but has extremely deep feelings for you and comes in real quick. But that's kind of how things happen, is that you do the inner work and then your outside circumstances change, because it's like from the inside out, it exudes that new force in your life and you attract new things. And I 1000% have experienced that, have seen it so many times and believe that. The inner world needs to adjust in order for the outer circumstances to change. So if you see yourself in these patterns that just keep repeating, or things that just have continuously left you with empty cups, there has to be some type of new way of approaching how you do things, or new acknowledgement of how things need to change within you. And the self-work, right? That's almost divine, because you were always supposed to learn these lessons, which is why they even manifested to begin with. And then what can come in is love, like true love that really cuts through your heart and makes you feel like everything was worth it and you deserve that. And that's totally what this King of Cups can represent and feels like it represents. the fact that this is the aquamarine too, it's just like, you know, a lot of these things aren't talked about in our society, and I think that's why a lot of people seek tarot, is because it's the more intuitive realm that can't be defined by the senses. You know, it's this idea that we are all on these really spiritual journeys, but no one really talks about it unless you're like behind a closed door with a friend and a glass of wine. And so this aquamarine is that. It's like the opening up these pathways of truth that we all share, and yet a lot of people never acknowledge, right? Or just go through the motions, repeating the same mistakes over and over again and hurting themselves, and they don't even realize they're doing it because they're not doing the inner work to change the game. What's interesting is this leg up card. And so I want to read this for you. Look at the bears. Oh my goodness, a little baby. But a leg up is very much about like either by the divine or by people in your life. Maybe this person that's coming into your life is going to feel like leveling up. Oh my gosh, that's totally what this is. Wow. I can't. I mean, even as I start reading this, I'm just confirming this. Like, this is totally you doing this work, right? Maybe the Two of Swords has been this idea, like you've had to cut things out of your life and it's been really hard that haven't served you, to change up your environment and to make a new life for yourself in some sense, whether it's love or not. But this feels very much like you've had to handle a lot by yourself or do a lot of work, maybe because people have left you with empty cups in the past and you've had to rebalance yourself, maybe against all odds, honestly. And now what's coming in is your ability to rely on people, your ability to find someone that feels like leveling up, like this little bear climbing up to get a different perspective on life, right? Like you climbed up the bear of self-work's back and now you have a vantage point and you can meet people at this level that have also gone on this journey of self-realization and self-work. And how powerful is that? That's why it's a king showing up, because that's how you have a power couple scenario, is that you both put in the work on yourselves and then you come together, and it's just so gratifying realizing it was all for a reason so that you could be here with this leg up. Oh my God, I can't. Aquamarine, I should have known my birthstone would be it. Thank you so much for joining me for this pick-a-card. I really appreciate it. This is my first one. Let me know if you like it or you think that I should do the shuffling on camera. I'm super open to that. And if not, please reach out, comment about your story. I love connecting through this medium, or send me an email at alseatarot@gmail.com. Okay, thanks guys. Have a beautiful day.